Right then, Rajshahi Warriors were the true warriors of this tournament as they have won the BASHUNDHARA Cement BPL 2026. What a performance by them. Under pressure they were. It was the final game of the tournament and they delivered indeed. Jubilation all round, fireworks, lots of energy, lots of passion and happy memories indeed for the Warriors. Tanzid Hasan with a blistering knock at the top, 100 in just 62 balls to take his side to 174 for 4 in their 20 overs. Contributions from Saibzada Farhan, 30, Williamson 24 and Shanto contributing 11. In response, Chattogram Royals had no real answers. Binura Fernando with the ball once again, impressive, picking up 4 and Murad with 3, Nisham with 2 and Abdul Ghaffar Saklan. He's been quite underrated in this tournament. He also managed to pick up 1 wicket. Rajshahi Warriors won it by 63 runs. Well, happy moments for Rajshahi Warriors. A huge congratulations to them as they won this edition of the BPL. And they are the deserving winners of this BPL 2026. When you talk about that table, they were always the table toppers and they have been consistent right through. To talk about this fabulous win, I've got a fabulous panel next to me. Mazhar, and would you like to introduce yourself? He's at a loss of words. Farveez or Farveez? What should we call you then?
Farveez is better.
Farveez is better. All right, Farveez Maharoof is there. We kind of stumped him on that one, you know. He wasn't really expecting it. But we like to bowl a bit of a googly at the top.
Yeah, good one. Nice one.
Right then. He wasn't expecting that. That's what we love. Mazhar, great performance then by Rajshahi Warriors. And when you talk about them being the deserving winners of this trophy, I mean, just talk us through their performance and what you thought of their win today.
Yeah, they've been clinical in all the 3 departments of the game. First up, after being sent to bed, they post a good total on the board. And Tanzid Hasan, he hasn't had the best of start of the tournament. He got the start initially but failed. And then came on, scored a 50 in a couple of matches back. And now in a big match, he scored 100, laid that platform. He and Saibzada Farhan added 83. That actually laid the platform. During the pitch report, Mahabhai was saying that 160 could be a good total. And once that opening stand got the start, it was very good for them to go on to post over 170. That laid the platform for them. And then with the ball, they've been clinical. And also, Chattogram dropped a few catches. They dropped twice of Tanzid Hasan and that proved to be costly for them. And in the end, the better team win. They have got the good bowling unit. Binura Fernando, to me, is the unsung hero for Rajshahi Warriors, alongside Abdul Ghaffar Saklan. These 2 bowlers made sure Rajshahi go on to win the title.
Now, we spoke about nerves in the pre-match show, Maha, that it's the team that will be making sure that they keep themselves calm and composed that is going to eventually get through. Couple of catches that we got to see getting dropped here as well, and then just that first momentum that Rajshahi Warriors managed to achieve. Now, what do you make of their win overall, and where do you think Chattogram went wrong?
I think the Rajshahi Warriors, the well-deserved side, won it. They finished the league stage as the table toppers, finished it off in style. And they won the crunch moments. They won the big moments. When the big game comes, you want your senior pros, their top players to perform. Tanzid Hasan, national player, brilliant. Binura Fernando, big boy in the auction, performed really well. Kane Williamson, though he could not contribute much, but in the field, I could see him going and talking to Najmul and Shanto, having a chat, so shared experience. So I think this is a collective effort. I think entire coaching staff from the ownership got to be applauded. Got a lot of good things I've heard from the camp. So deserving winners were from Chattogram Royals. Apart from winning the toss, losing catches, certain things which put me down was some of the body language. For example, Amir Jamal showing the frustration in the middle. Skipper Mahendra Hasan, we've seen him in the past, but in finals you've got to be a little calmer, collective. So I think they just lost it with all these reasons, just cricketing reasons for sure, but also the body language for me wasn't right from Chattogram Royals.
Body language is always crucial, isn't it? Especially when you talk about being in the final. Now, let's talk about the top performer of the day. When you talk about scoring 100 in a final, Tanzid was just outstanding. I mean, thoughts on his performance, on the way he batted today?
Like as I mentioned earlier, he was under pressure initially, but the way he came into this game with a clear frame of mind, he's got the clarity. He middled the ball right from the word go, and he chose the right balls to go for it. He never tried to go hard at the good balls. Rather, he waited for the bad deliveries. He was timing so well against the fast bowlers, against the spinners as well, and that slog sweep has been his go-to shot tonight. And the way he paced his innings, reaching 100, scoring 100 in a T20 match, that too in a final, you need a lot of courage, guts, determination, and he's proved that he is a big match player. He represents Bangladesh. He's a youngster, but still he has played quite a lot of matches for Bangladesh. He's now the up and coming, the next Tamim Iqbal, as we say, Tamim Iqbal of the past, new Tamim in the present. So it's a great thing to have for Bangladesh cricket.
Yeah, great confidence that he showed. But even Benura Fernando, you know, he said that his performance has been rather underrated in this tournament. But he's just been sort of quietly delivering on the side and doing his job really well. And you need that from a player, you know. Sometimes some characters are not as expressive and loud on the field, but they just quietly do their job.
Benura Fernando, I've known him from his school days. He's always been under the radar, quietly gets the job done. And he had a point to prove here. Now, drop from the national side, not even in the 25. Not even in the 25, repeat myself. And him to perform the way he did in the last two games, he stood up to the occasion. Senior bowler in the side with the new ball, he was swinging the ball, older ball, he was tight end, you know, his tight end test and slow ball really worked. I don't think any batters in the competition did play that slow ball well. So, you know, this is where Benura Fernando has to now go to the next step. He's been playing a lot of franchise cricket. He's one of the first picks in franchise cricket. But unfortunately can't find his place in the national side. But from here, where does he go? You know, he needs to step up again. His fitness is a big issue. He's bound to have a surgery. He's delaying it for certain reasons. So, you know, it's been a very tried and tested career for Benura Fernando. There's so much injuries in his life. But today, I mean, he will enjoy himself because he deserves for, you know, the efforts he put in. And certainly Rajshahi Warriors must be really happy having him in the side.
Also Shanto, Najmul Hassan Shanto, I mean, what a moment for him. I think anything like this, whenever a team wins, it's always the captain that is perhaps the most happy, and just generally as well. So Najmul Hassan Shanto, what does it mean for him, this win?
He's also the captain for the Bangladesh team. He was part of the Borishal team that won the title previous season. He was in and out. Its time was for him to prove. The matter to prove that he is a leader. He led from the front. Maybe he hasn't had the best of time in the latter part of the tournament, but he led so well. He changed his bowler well. He motivated them. Compared to Mahdi, the skipper of Chattogram Royals, Rajshahi skipper was more calm and collective compared to Mahdi, and this is one of the reasons why when the leader is calm, the entire team gets calmer and follow the instinct of the captain.
Now, just looking back at some of the key performers of this tournament, Mazhar, we've had some really impressive performances throughout, you know. There have been different players that have been contributing, and one of the standout batters of the tournament has been Farveez Maharoof. Just the way that we've seen him, we know what talent he's got, but for him to be, you know, coming out there and expressing himself, what did you think about how the BPL has been for him?
Undoubtedly, he is someone who loves to take the challenge. Initially, he batted at number 4, scored bulk of runs at number 4, and then his team needed him up at the order. He took the challenge and scored some quick runs up at the order and making sure he gives full value to his wicket. And as a batter, when you are in form, you need to have that continuity as a batter. For the team, for yourself, for the sake of the tournament as well. And for that, Farveez Maharoof is surely one of the biggest find of the tournament. Yes, he represented Bangladesh, but as a batter, he'd taken the responsibility. And among the top run getters out there, 395 runs in 12 matches. He's been consistent. This is where Bangladeshi batters lack at times. Tawhid Hridoy is behind him, but Farveez Maharoof on the left-hander, he's been outstanding. He's a hard hitter. At the same time, he can pace his innings. Early on, there was a situation for him that he couldn't convert his start into a big one, but this tournament has it all for him.
All right, so he was the top run getter in this tournament, but then talking about wickets, there's been somebody who's just been outstanding with the ball, Maha. When you talk about Shariful Islam, you talk about Bangladesh fast bowlers, I mean, when you look at him and you sort of compare him to all the other resources that they have available, where does he rank and why?
A left-arm quick inner side is a gold dust, and especially the rhythm he's been in right throughout the tournament has been why Chattogram Royals came to the final, because he sets up things beautifully up top. picking up wickets with the new ball, swinging both ways, a good slippery bouncer. And in the death overs, he bowls consistent Yorkers and bowls a good Yorker. So I think he's the total package. Yes, he's just, what, 25, 26. Another graduate from the 2020 Under-19 World Cup winning team in South Africa. And within that 6 years, I've covered a lot of games of Shariful Islam. I've seen him improve a lot. Initially, about a year ago, when I saw him last and had a chat to him, he was running too fast. And once you are running too fast to the crease, means that you're not balanced and your wrist position are not right. But in this season of BPL, he's being top and breaking the record of Taskin Ahmed, 25 wickets Taskin in the last year, and 26 wickets. So it's just amazing. And there are two left-arm fast bowlers. Shariful and Bruno Fernando have been brilliant. And the rest of them, Ripon Mondal, Nasum Mahmud, Hassan Mahmood, and in subcontinent having 4 seamers as your most wickets shows the pitches have been quite fair. So that's itself is a big plus for the BPL and Bangladesh cricket.
All right, we're talking about best figures in the tournament. 5 for 7, Nasum Ahmed. They belong to Nasum Ahmed. 5 for 7 is what we got. And let's not forget, yes, his team hasn't really won the trophy or anything, but in terms of his own individual effort, he can be proud of himself for the way he's bowled in this tournament.
Undoubtedly, he's been the trump card for Sylhet Titans throughout the tournament. He bowled in the power plays, bowled in the middle overs. He's not just a wicket taker, he's a container. I've seen that quite a few times, and whenever the captain needed a breakthrough, he brings him with the new ball, or in the death overs even. A spinner can bowl in the last few overs is always a challenge, and he's someone who varies his pace. He's got a very good arm delivery and deceives the batter on flight. So these are the elements of a very good spinner who's not afraid to toss the ball up when the batter is going after you. This is what he's capable of, and he's undoubtedly one of the best find. And among the top 5 wicket takers, he's the only spinner in the top 5 wicket takers list. 5 for 7, it's outstanding. You don't see that often.
And that's a good point that you made about him being able to toss the ball and sort of give it a bit of flight, because we see that a lot from a lot of spinners these days, that they try and bowl a bit flatter and not take that risky option of giving it a bit of flight. So that's a really good point there. Just talking about the performers in this time, we talk about highest score as well. Tawheed Ridoy has also been a standout performer for Bangladesh now, not just in the BPL. We know how talented he is. I mean, he seems to be, when he's batting, Maha, it seems like he's batting in a league of his own.
I think he enjoyed himself top of the order. Doesn't do that often for the national side, best in the middle order. And also batting with players like David Malam has brought the best out of him. And he's aggressive, and once he gets going, I mean, not much bowling attacks in the world. You can contain him because he got all the shots. He's very good of the short ball of the fast bowler, good technique. And, one of those players, again, like Shariful Islam, one of those graduates from the 2020 Under-19 side, so making a lot of good headlines and consistently scoring runs. So, going forward, Tawheed Ridoy, maybe the selectors might think, okay, he's another option as an opening batsman, because you've got Tanzin Tamim as an opening batter, Farveez Maharoof as an opening batter. Add to the list, Tawheed Ridoy is another option to have. So it's a bit of a headache for the selectors now where to use him. But personally, I like to see him at number 4. Being that steady player, steadying the ship like a wall, because he has that technique. So looking forward, I think Tawheed Ridoy had a good season and certainly one of my favourites in this side.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for reflecting on the tournament and looking back at, how well it's gone for everyone, indeed, all the stakeholders. And you've got to say that the best team did win in the end. Rajshahi Warriors at the top. They were, like I said, the table toppers. They had the best bowling side in the end, the way they bowled. And also, let's not forget, their batting led so well by Shanto, who scored that brilliant 100 at the top of the tournament. And he really set the tone. Who knew at that point that he will be the one who will be lifting the trophy? Now, talking about lifting the trophy, we're only moments away from lifting the trophy. So it's time to take a break and head over for the presentation.